What is going on, guys? You got Tone here bringing you my MPL Season 4 Week 3 battle against Nick aka RecklessBat and his Texas Tyrantrums. If you guys missed my team builder, I uploaded it yesterday, so feel free to check that out if you missed the mons and what sets I am bringing on my team of 6. Also, as you see here by my opponent, he decided to bring his team of Crobat, Tyrantrum, Gastrodon, Infernape, Silvally Normal, and his Necrozma. So, main thing to note is, well, one of the most important things to note is the fact that my opponent did not bring a Azumarill, so if I wanted to, I could have let off with my Zygarde and just clicked Outrage, but at the same time, I decided to try to preserve it in the back just for now. So he didn't bring most of the offensive threats I was expecting. No Delmies, no Azu, which kind of surprised me, but understandable. So looking at his matchup and looking at his team, I am assuming that either Necrozma or the Tyrantrum was his Stealth Rocker. I was leaning more towards Necrozma because it's the bulkier one and it has access to recovery with Morning Sun or Moonlight. I expected his Tyrantrum to be like a Rock Polish set, and I was leaning heavily towards the Infernape being Choice Scarf. So there was that. Standard Gastrodon just to check my physical attackers. The fact that he didn't bring his Azumarill leads me to believe he is Dark EMZ Parting Shot on the Silvally, and Crobat could be like an offensive set, but I was probably leaning more towards a bulky set because he has brought bulky Crobat in previous matches, so it wouldn't surprise me if he did that here. So I figured my best lead at the moment would be the Persian, because my Alolan Persian, because it has a decent matchup against almost everything except for the Infernape. If he leads up with Crobat, the worst he could probably do to me is just U-turn or Brave Bird me for damage. I can go for Foul Play, or I can just Parting Shot just to see what his play is. So that's exactly what I'm going to do as I play the video here. I'm going to lead off with my Alolan Persian, as he ends up leading off with his Crobat. So battle starts. So Nick's issuing the challenge. So like I said, I'm going to lead off with my Alolan Persian here, as he leads off with his Nightwing, his Crobat. So I know I can't talk to this thing, so I'm just going to go for a Parting Shot early on just to see what he's going to do. He reveals he's toxic, so he's going to poison my Persian. That's fine. For the most part, it could have been avoided or whatnot. He could have taunted me too, which would have been great for him. I'm just going to go for the Parting Shot here, get the attack, a special attack drop, and I'm just going to go hard into my Zygarde 10% here. Now, I could have been very, very aggressive from the get-go here. I could have clicked Outrage this turn, because looking at his team, everything, unless his Necrozma is fully physically defensive, I don't think anything on his team was taking 2 Outrages from my bandit Zygarde 10%, and he went to Gastrodon too. So if I went for Outrage here, this would do over half, but unfortunately I went for 1,000 arrows here. Does almost half, but because of the leftover recovery, I don't think 1,000 arrows would have killed, and I'm pretty sure he was carrying Ice Beam. I didn't want to lose my Zygarde right away because it put so much pressure on his team, so I went back into my Persian just to scout and see what he was going to do. He does go for the Toxic here, so I don't know if it was a prediction or whatnot, but I just wanted to scout and see what he was going to do. So here I'm going to go for a Toxic just to weaken this Gastrodon. In hindsight, I probably should have went for Taunt first to prevent him from going for the recover, but I do get the Toxic off at least to put this thing on a timer, as he does end up going for the recover here. So I kind of got my plays mixed up, my turns mixed up, and I probably should have taunted before I Toxic'd, which would have helped me out quite a bit in wearing this thing down for the rest of my mons, specifically my Scolipede, and make sure it's in range of my Banded Zygarde's Outrage. So from here, I'm decided I'm going to go for a parting shot here. I think I want a parting shot here as he hard switch back into his Crobat. So I go for the taunt here. So it doesn't really matter for the most part. So now I'm just going to go for a parting shot here. I think my leftover recovery, and I need to get the heck out of here because the toxic damage is starting to rack up on my Alolan Persian. And considering it's the only thing stopping the Necrozma from going for like Psychic for free, I need to keep this thing around. So he goes for the U-turn here just to get some chip damage off. So I believe he went back into his Gastrodon here. Yeah, he did. So I believe I went for a parting shot. I did. So parting shot the Gastrodon. I believe at this point I went into my Frogadiers to try to set up I think I went for a Toxic Spikes or I went for Hex. Yeah, so I went for Hex this turn, thinking he would stay in. So he gets his leftovers recovery, and then he takes the toxic damage. So I believe I went for Hex this turn, just to gauge the damage here. But he knows I probably have Hex because I have this toxic Persian. So he goes right into the Silvally normal, and my Frogadiers cannot touch this Silvally whatsoever. So I decided to stay in now and get my Toxic Spikes at least. He reveals he's Draco Meteor. So I'm expecting to do a crap ton of damage on my Frogadiers. Does a decent amount, not as much as I thought, but it's not stab and whatnot. So I go for the Will-O-Wisp here. Mostly due to the fact that I thought he was a physical variant of Silvally. So him bringing special kind of threw me off. So Toxic Spikes would have been the better suggestion at this point, but I really feared as though he was like a a physical Silvally. So he parting shots here, drops my attack and special attack. So he's gonna switch out his Silvally. He probably predicted me to switch out. So he goes into his Necrozma as I set up a layer of Toxic Spikes. Now from here, I probably could have stayed in just to scout, but knowing that the Necrozma does get Dark Pulse, I don't want to take a Dark Pulse because Frogadiers is too valuable in this matchup because it checks the Crobat, the Infernape, and whatnot. So I make a read and go into my Raikou. As he reveals a very cool set, he goes for the Autotomize. So now I know he's offensive Necrozma, which means that for the most part, it's looking more and more like his Stealth Rocker is going to be that Tyrantrum. He reveals he's Side Shock. Now here I should have Volt switched just to scout what his move was going to be. And so instead I went for Thunderbolt for damage. I really wanted to keep this thing around just to like get some damage off on the Crobat or whatnot. But I decided to sack off my Raikou here to the Thunderbolt. To the Dark Pulse here. So my Raikou is down. We're down 5-6. So now I go back into my Alolan Persian here. I don't know what this thing is packing, but he decides to switch. And he decides to go back in. He goes into Wrecker this time, which is the Tyrantrum here. So I'm going to go for a foul play if I recall correctly, because I mainly just want to get damage off on the Necrozma, because the Necrozma was a threat, especially when it's set up. Doesn't do that much as I expected, but since I'm assuming his Stealth Rocker is the Tyrantrum, I'm just going to taunt him just to make sure it doesn't get Rocks up, as Rocks does hinder my Victini and my Scolipede, and the last thing I need right now is any chip damage on those two Mons. So after we both take our poison damage, I'm going to go for the taunt here, just to scout and see that if he does have Stealth Rock or not. And it does show that he was Stealth Rock Tyrantrum, so very nice for me to keep those rocks off my side of the field. So now I'm just going to keep on. So the play was to keep clicking foul play in my case, just to whittle this thing down, because even though he was Stealth Rock Tyrantrum, it's still a threat, even though he could be offensive Stealth Rocker, but I'm pretty sure it was a more defensive one to keep my Scolipede in check. So I go for foul play again. Does a good amount of damage here. He reveals he's Dragon Tail, which more or less confirms he is more of a defensive Tyrantrum here. So I'm going to get swapped out and I go back into my Frogadiers, which is fine. Now Because I'm in a situation with Frogadiers versus Tyrantrum, I thought I would Hex. I should have seen the Savali play coming and doubled, but I felt as though that my play was still to Hex regardless. Because just getting something like Tyrantrum out the way would be nice. But he does read that. He goes back into a Savali normal. As I try to go for a Hex, and of course I don't. It doesn't affect it whatsoever. So I get the leftovers recovery, and of course with me, my Clawitzers being walled by this Savali, I cannot touch it nonetheless. Unfortunate, but I do have to switch out. Need to keep it around, and I decided that I go back into my Persian just to use it as a bit of sack fodder here. He reveals the Shadow Ball on this Savali. I do live on the sliver of health. So from here, I decided that that sacking off my Persian would be the best play for me, simply because when it goes down, I get a free switch into any of my other 3 mons, whether it be my Victini, my Scolipede, or my Zygarde. So he makes a switch and goes back out into his Gastrodon here, as I want to go for a foul play just to get some damage off. And because it's a Gastrodon, he doesn't have that much, he's not invested that much in attack, 0 IVs and whatnot. It's not going to do that much damage. So I'm still following the same strategy of sacking off my Persian to the toxic damage, but just before I let my Persian go down to the poison, I decided to just throw up a taunt on the Gastrodon to prevent it from going for a recover, as I try to do whatnot. He was probably expecting me to parting shot, so I'm just going to taunt him. Just going to try to sack this thing off, as he does try to go for the recover, thinking I was going to try to get some damage off, but it would have been pitiful, because any damage I did with foul play, he would just get back to full HP regardless. So at this point in time, at this moment, my Persian is going to go down to the toxic damage, so that's 1 kill for the Crobat. So far we are down 4-6, but I still feel as though my position is pretty good. So now here's my Scolipede. Now I really wanted to Rock Slide here, predicting the Crobat, but I felt as though the Gastrodon was going to stay in and try to skip a Skull Burn. So I decided to go for the Mega Horn here, and unfortunately I do miss a Crobat. I don't think it would have mattered, because since Crobat 4 times resists, and the fact that I saw Toxic on the Crobat pretty much assumes to me he is a bulky variant. So now I get my Rock Slide off. Does over half. Well over half. Maybe I would have gotten a flinch in the process. I don't. He goes for the Brave Bird, and that of course is going to take out my Scolipede. So yeah, I'm playing pretty sloppy right now at this point. So down goes my Scolipede to the Crobat. But it does give me a free switch into my Zygarde as he gets a Black Sludge recovery, thinking that I'm going to go for the extreme speed. So here I make the read I should have made in the previous turn. Instead of going for a Mega Horn, I should have Rock Slided. So here I'm going to go for my Outrage. I know he's going to preserve this thing, so he goes out into his Tyrantrum here to sack it off. I probably should have read that it went for 1,000 arrows instead, but I figured I was already down 3-6. At least try to come back and make it more of a respectable game. So down goes the Tyrantrum as sack fodder, and it gets him a free switch into his Gastrodon. And the only way I can attack this Gastrodon is if I crit him with this next Outrage. And unfortunately I do not. Gastrodon is just too tanky of a mon, and my Zygarde drops to the Ice Beam. So it's looking very grim now at 2 versus 5. Now here I make kind of a crazy play, and my only way to get back in this game was to go into my Victini and immediately go for Z Sunny Day. So in comes my Victini here. The more probable play was to go for the attacking move and then find some other opportunity to get up a blue flare. But I decided to go for the Z Sunny Day because I figured it's already looking like a losing battle for me, and I figured at least show off the Victini set, try to, and hope he wasn't Scarf Infernape. But I'm already thinking in the back of my mind that Infernape was Scarf. He goes for the Earth Power on my Victini. I do live, but it's not going to do much for me in the long run. But I do get to show off the sunny day into the solar beam for the Victini, and I know it didn't make any sense to go for solar beam, much less sunny day at this point. But I figured, why not? If I'm going to lose, I might as well lose in style. So I go completely overkill for no reason on this Gastrodon, just to make a statement. I know I didn't have to, but what's done is done. So Gastrodon's finally down. In comes the Infernape, and the way he sent it in, I know it's Scarf. It wouldn't make any sense for him not to be Scarf. So he's gonna go for the EQ, take out the Victini, which sucks because I really wanted this Victini to put in a ton of work in this match, and technically speaking, it would have, but alas, the Infernape was too much for me to overcome, and all I had left was a Clawitzers that can't touch Silvally. As my last move on my Clawitzers was Haze. I don't have Pain Split. I don't have HP Fighting. I figured the Azumarill would be too much of a threat if he got up a Belly Drum to, I figured the Azumarill with Belly Drum would be too much of a threat to my team, as Clawitzers can nullify Huge Power with Mummy. And if it does go down, at least Huge Power will be nullified, but it'd still be at +6, so still being a pain in the butt. He's just going to finish me off with a couple of Shadow Balls here, as I can't do much in this situation here. I'm just going to go for Toxic Spikes. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, the battle was already lost at this point. So basically, I'm just going to play it out. There was no sense in me trying to forfeit, just be a good sport about it. I really wish my plan would have been better, but I could have been more aggressive at the beginning. I could have outraged at the beginning. He crits with a Shadow Ball, doesn't matter. Like I said, when I got the Zygarde in the first time around on the parting shot, I could have went immediately for outrage just to weaken most of its mons. But I played too safe. I could have predicted the Crobat with the I could have predicted the Crobat, but alas, I didn't. And down goes my Clawitzers to another crit, and we end up losing 4-0 to the Texas Tyrantrums and Coach Texas Tyrantrums and Coach RecklessBat. Nonetheless, I did have fun with this team. I don't like to lose, but at the same time, I did try to innovate as much as I could. The Victini, I really felt confident with. The only main thing I probably should have done for my build was, if I didn't have Bulk Strike, I should have had Psychic, because it still hits the Crobat and it hits the Infernape. And if the Infernape was taken out sooner, but he did a good job of keeping the Scarf Infernape in the back, nothing more I can do about that. But nonetheless, we do lose 4-0. We are now 1-2. So yeah, it's still a new team to me. I'm still trying to get used to some of these mons, but still enjoyed the battle, and I hope you guys did as well. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment, all that good stuff. Week 4 will be against Bizer and its San Francisco 49tails. That will probably be uploaded probably as soon as possible, just so I can catch up with the rest of the league. But that is going to be it from me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it, like I said. And if you do, like I said, leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. And until the next time, my name is Anthony, aka Tone, and I'm going to catch you guys on the flip side. Later.